Welcome back to New Cammack. When we last left our conscripted kindred, they were on their way to the Nosferatu tunnels to find an abandoned surveillance room left by the Nosferatu clan before they fled the city, when a 7-foot-tall dancing robot flipped their car over and required the collective might of Darby and Prince Archibald Alvins to subdue it, and the hacking prowess of Excavo to shut it down. Augustyn was there too. The team of engineers from Nuker Technologies who built the robot made amends by offering the gang 2 extraordinarily expensive loaner cars while the flipped car was being repaired, as well as offering them an as-yet unspecified job, with the fate of the city supposedly depending on their success. Abraham Branson, president of Nuker Technologies, continues where he left off. Okay. I need a crew like you to help us get back something that was stolen from us, stolen from the city, from the world, really. And I can offer money and all of the equipment that you need, and a steady job for this one if she wants it. And he gestures to Excavo. Bartleby interrupts. Abraham, I think it's kind of premature to be talking about what I think you're talking about with these people whom we just met. Maybe cool your jets and let's have a company meeting about this before revealing any intel. Candace says, okay, y'all are crazy. Hey girl, you want to hack into a system that we built that the local mafia took over and locked us out of?
Why would they do that to you? What did you do to them?
Abraham steps forward and says, I just need to know if this is the kind of job that you would be interested in taking before we speak about any details.
Oh man,
I could do it, but why should I?
Well, you would be liberating highly advanced technology from local organized crime who are bad people, and we would be giving you full access to it, which I would assume would be quite exciting to people like you.
Full access to what? I had to build you a Wi-Fi extender. What do you have?
People like you? What you mean by that?
We'd give you all the money and all the equipment that you need, and you would be helping us get back something that's very important to us, and we think it would be very valuable to the world. And unless if this is something that you don't think is within your skill set, unless if we've overestimated.
Oh, no. I'm not saying I can't do it. I can. But why should I? I mean, how much are you paying?
I mean, we haven't set a price point on this. All of this is absolutely negotiable. You can, of course, tell us what you consider your time to be worth.
Also I want to know what kind of equipment do you have? Because I had to just construct a Wi-Fi extender. So, not sure if you guys have what I would need.
Well, we can give you, if you need office space, if you need computer space, if you need practically any kind of equipment that you need. I mean, of course, we didn't have a Wi-Fi extender available at the spur of the moment, but we have all sorts of technology here in the building. I mean, we have no shortage of technology. We just didn't happen to have a Wi-Fi extender because we haven't needed it up until this point. But by the way, thank you very much for building that. We may very well need it in the future. But do you think that we may be able to hire you to do this job for us? Because if you say no, I'm not sure that we will be able to find anyone else to do something like this for us.
Well, am I working with equipment that was gotten legally?
I mean, we don't have any equipment that is acquired illegally. I mean,
I guess I'm trying to figure out why the mafia would block you from your own equipment.
Well, if we can all, and he kind of he looks around and he pulls everyone in close. If we can all agree that this discussion stays between us, I can let you in on what all this is. I can bring you into the fold and explain, what it is that you would be liberating. I of course don't have an NDA for you to sign or anything like that, but if we can have just a gentleman's agreement that this stays between us, I can tell you what this is. Does that sound okay?
Sure.
I'm not signing DNA.
He glances at Darby and okay.
I don't.
Okay, so what we've lost access to is something called the MKT that we built underground with the help of a construction company run by the local mob. It was conceived and funded by none other than Avon Stank. And this is a reminder that Avon Stank was introduced 2 sessions ago as a globally famous billionaire tech entrepreneur and founder of a company called Stank Industries. Avon Stank is an eccentric genius famous for pioneering private spaceflight and popularizing electric vehicles, as well as reportedly funding experimental research into sci-fi technologies. Abraham continues, okay, Avon Stank wanted to develop a new type of subway system that was made up of car-sized enclosed platforms that you would move individual vehicles and pedestrians around an underground track at tremendous speeds. So you'd put your car on a platform, and then that platform would be queued up underground, and it would be put on the track once the track is safe and clear, and you would be rocketed to the next stop closest to your destination using superconductors and magnetic levitation without using any gas.
And
Wait a minute. So you're going really fast, but you don't get to drive?
Writing it down. Trying to.
Yeah, so the whole idea is people would be able to drive their own cars around, but they wouldn't be spending any of their own gas and there wouldn't be any pollution. He tried to introduce this idea and have it built in Las Vegas, but he got shot down and he lost a lot of money because the city started complaining about safety concerns, like how there's no obvious way to evacuate people from the track in the event of an emergency. So he decided the best way to move forward was to keep working on the concept in secret until the kinks were worked out, and then pitch a perfected version of it publicly again later. So he made plans to build a secret working prototype of the system. Now, Avon Stank was old friends with a guy named Dalton McClure. McClure was the former chair of the engineering department at New Cammack University. He was the guy who founded Nuker Tech with us a few years ago. It used to be 4 of us. But
I'm trying to write this down.
I can catch you up on this later.
Oh my god.
It used to be the 4 of us who founded Nuker Tech, but Dr. McClure left our company when his father died, and his father left the train yards to him. Anyway, through Dr. McClure, Avon Stank got connected with us and secretly gave us a large amount of money and the plans for this subway system so that we could build it for him without the city's knowledge. See, in his mind, this wouldn't work building it secretly out in the desert. The prototype needed a real city on top of it and real traffic to produce useful data. So Dr. McClure tipped us off to the fact that the Thibodeau Construction Company is run by the biggest organized crime family in the city, and they'd be able to take care of all the construction for the project and keep it all secret for us. So the first phase of construction wrapped up about 6 months ago, and access points for cars were hidden all around the city in garages.
Like in a super top secret garage that no one could just notice.
and parking structures and car washes and body shops and there are pedestrian access points in old phone booths. There's one in the jail. I think there's one in a changing room in a store. See,
I did think it was strange how many phone booths are still here.
I know, right? But the city has no interest in tearing them down. So, we've taken advantage of that. Mr. Stank's plan was that once the build-out was finished, he would openly ask the city for permission to build the MKT on the condition that there would be no inspections until he's finished. And then he would just wait a couple years and pretend like construction was happening during that period. But then, as you may or may not know, Avon Stank died. The company tried to cover up the details of his death and say that it was part of an industrial accident, but we know the truth. His assistant shared with us the details. Avon Stank died in a hot air baboon accident.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that, please? Did you say a hot air balloon accident?
I did not.
I was hoping that you had.
You see, in addition to automotive engineering, spaceflight, robotics, energy efficiency, quantum physics, and projecting subliminal ads on the moon, Avon Stank also dabbled in genetic engineering, and he had a project underway to develop a monkey that was neutrally buoyant due to a hydrogen-filled bladder in its abdomen so that it could be trained to float into trees and pick fruit in third-world countries so that farmers wouldn't have to rely on child labor. He was giving a press conference in Belize, and a pack of floating baboons got spooked by the cameras and swarmed him. They pulled him up into the air and started clawing his skin off, and it rained gore upon the horrified onlookers. There was nothing anyone could do but swat at them with sticks. One of the baboons popped like a gore-filled piñata, but it only made the other ones angrier. One by one, they ate him alive while floating above the gathered journalists. Some monkeys got heavy enough to float down to the ground and face justice. The rest floated away and are still at large. And worse yet, they now have a taste for human flesh. So
we're definitely going to be fighting some hot air baboons at some point, I bet. Sounds like.
Hot air
Would one of
Batman?
them have landed in a tree somewhere?
I didn't keep track of.
You didn't keep track of why not?
I wasn't in Bailey. I heard about this after the fact.
You just
More
let
like-
them go.
More like dad boons.
I was here the whole time.
Right, that's what...
Is there who's in charge of his Stank Industries now with the untimely demise?
Well, he has
Mr. Stank.
He has a whole board, but this particular project was part of a super secret division that his board didn't know about, and
Because it's so embarrassing.
well, no, because it was not
Illegal.
not exactly legal. So like
Find the word. It's illegal.
And
So
you must
the-
be very close with his assistant to be privy to such information.
well, close enough.
Fruit harvesting is what this was the big aim of our floating. They are gonna harvest fruit, so that
Darby,
was
they were
why.
clearly militarized. Don't bug them about it.
Well, the experimental projects division of Stank Industries was wiring money to us through a secret account, and it is still doing that. And honestly, we since his death, we haven't been in contact with well, obviously with Mr. Stank or his assistant, since we got word of his death, and we're kind of afraid to reach out and make contact because honestly, we have an emotional investment in the project. We want to continue working on it, and we would like to continue to be funded. We'd like to believe that he was working with someone else who would like to see the project continue. So what we don't want to see is someone else at Stank Industries be tipped off to this, and all of a sudden the account that we're drawing from just suddenly, be shut off and go to zero.
After the fact that you lost access to their whatchamacallit.
Also, it was pretty much after Avon Stank died, Mario Tabato, who's the gangster who runs the construction company who dug all the tunnels for us,
all the work.
That was his point of view. He came to us and he said that since his gang, in his mind, did all the hard work, he told us that he was taking control of the MKT and was only letting his gang have access to it. I told him that he needed engineers to continue maintaining the system or it was going to break down eventually, but he didn't care. Mario's goons came in with guns and stole everything related to the MKT from us. They took all of the access cards that we had made, and they took the control laptop. And that laptop was the only remote way for us to connect to the MKT mainframe. Bartleby.
It sounds to me as though this situation is one in which a private enterprise has seized control of a public good. And that doesn't bode well with me. There's one thing I need to ask before we are in. I get real close to him. Are you guys cool?
Well, I've always considered myself quite cool. Bartleby says,
no.
That means no.
I point to Bartleby. I'm like, this guy's cool, though. They're good. I look at everybody else. They're good.
Abraham...
just a point of clarification. These guys think we're spies, right? Like they think we're...
I think we're like Ocean's something.
Like a heist crew?
Yeah,
Like,
Abraham.
like
Ocean's
Ocean's
9, whomever.
Abraham identified you as being like a heist crew.
Yes, not that.
Which...
Oh no, we're
are.
definitely we mostly focus on sewer heist, as we were mentioning earlier. But this sounds like it is subterranean in a way. I think this isn't too far from our line of work. I think we might be able to arrange something there.
Abraham says that's actually perfect because what we need, and we've thought about this, myself and Candace and Bartleby. We think that the best strategy, since the control laptop has been stolen, we need to control the MKT back, and that really comes down to we need the access code. We don't have it anymore. We don't have a copy of it. It was on the laptop, and there's no way we can get the laptop back from an entire gang. But we don't need the laptop if we just change the access code, and you can do that if you get to the mainframe computer, which is underground in the MKT. If you can get physical access to the MKT, I can help direct you to where the mainframe room is, and we have the master key to get into the room, and we have the password to log you into the terminal. And if you can get in there, easy peasy, this woman, whose name I don't know, should be able to...
Whoa, rewind. Easy peasy. If it's so easy peasy, why are you not doing this?
Because they're not a heist team, a sewer heist
They
team
know
like
how
us.
to get in. They have the key. They know the current access code, and we're just
Scavo,
changing
they're
it
a
for
bunch
some
of-
reason so that the mob don't. The
It
mob
doesn't
don't have
sound
it.
that they can actually get into this MKT at all.
They have the key.
Can I pull Darby and Excavo aside and whisper something to them? I want to say, guys, they're a bunch of scared little nerds. They're not like us. They're not cool like us.
So they cannot guarantee our safety.
There's
we
a
can
step
guarantee our safety.
There's a step that I should perhaps elaborate on. Getting into the MKT, that is a little complicated. You can't simply walk into it. I may have mentioned there are access points, and they are you have to have an access card to get into them. Because this is a secret system and we can't have like curious teenagers wandering in, because if that happens, one, the entire thing is compromised and everyone gets sued for $1 bajillion, and two, a random kid wandering in gets their head taken off by a platform. The whole thing is locked down super tight. So I assume you would have to like stake out an access point and steal a card from someone.
Hey, we know a couple guys. This will be no problem.
All the cards
Have you met Earl and Daryl yet? Great couple guys. They're going to be able to hook us right up.
But no, the cards, all the cards were taken from us at gunpoint by Mario's goons.
There it is. Okay. You said it was going to be easy peasy.
Yeah, we are doing it's a heist. It is easy for us. We're heist people.
But once you're in there, and once you get into the terminal, and if you know how to find your way around, like once you're in a computer, like a hacker should be able to find their way to where the access code is stored in memory and change it.
Will we get to wear like cool radios?
Would you know the way? You are the one who programmed it, correct? Would you not know the way? The monster sure wouldn't.
Oh yeah. No,
yeah, you got a map.
Do you have a map?
Some of the access points,
absolutely.
Look, we know where one of them is. We already figured some of this part out. We've been here for a while. One of the things
we accidentally did the story out of order.
Every time we go near one, we see people with a lot of electrified weapons, and I was wondering if that was something you might have a way around with your science brain.
Can you give us all cool rubber suits like the X-Men?
Can you give us a really long hose?
Like the 2000 X-Men films.
Hell yeah.
And Abraham looks at Bartleby and Candace and looks really confused about all these rubber suits and hose. And
if they have electrical weapons, we need a way to defend ourselves.
What weapons
are
you talking about?
Man, these guys don't know what these mobsters are. All right. I'll tell you what, boss. We're going to need hazard pay. We're going to need whatever kind of equipment you got access to. And we're going to need a liaison that we keep an eye on during this process.
We want
somebody to help us out. Help us navigate once we get to this MKT.
Oh.
Who's your best in a pinch?
Oh. There's a trick to finding the mainframe. It's really easy to navigate. First, check this out. Abraham walks over to a nearby desk and he pulls out a large sheet of paper out of a drawer and he drops it on a table in front of you. It's a map of the city and there are markers on it and they're all placed in a rough circle, all inside the city's boundaries, and they all denote MKT access points, and they're all in a big circle, and there are details for each marker specifying what the access point is. And one of them says, like, it's the garage of Mario's house, or it's the basement of a parking structure next to Tabata Construction Headquarters, or car wash, body shop, so on. Abraham says, okay, so whichever access point you're in, doesn't matter. There's a walkway, and you could take the walkway, no matter where you are, to the mainframe. Look on the walls for electrical lines. Every few hundred feet, they'll have junction boxes that look like this or like this. All the junction boxes only have wires going into them horizontally on one side or the other, and they go on the side, they're coming out on the side closest to the mainframe. So follow the wires in the direction that they're coming out of the boxes, and they'll lead you right to it. All the junction boxes point in the direction of the mainframe. We designed it that way accidentally, but they just happen to be natural signs, and they're all going to point you all in the direction of the mainframe.
This couldn't be easier.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. Because we built the mainframe first, and we built out from that, so just all the wiring happened to work out that way.
So you mentioned...
Let me ask you this, boss. I'm sorry. 1 second. Just some sheriff questions, quick. What? You said mobsters are down in there with their exclusive use. You reckon some of them have to be in this access room? What with the control of this equipment?
Not the mainframe room.
Underground.
They wouldn't have any reason to go in there.
I do want to let you know, Abraham, he's not a literal sheriff. This. Sheriff is kind of like a nickname that we just use on the team.
Obviously.
We have record of monsters being underground, actually. So...
Shut up.
Mobsters, she said.
You don't need to know how we know this, but
yes,
we know
mobsters. There are many mobsters underground.
So we're going to go get them. I want to accept. What do you think, boss? Let's rise up.
Oh, a resounding yes. I am in favor of these academic pursuits. I'm in favor of anything for the public good.
I want one of them to come with us.
What, is like collateral? We don't need them.
Correct.
It's collateral. We can work that out, yeah.
Like something valuable.
Excavo would like a human shield.
They are giving us...
No, bring us someone who will actually help, not just stand in front of me.
Well, what sort of assistance might you even need with a mission like this?
You built the damn
thing. You're giving us the cool earpiece
it.
radios, right? So we can just communicate anyway?
Oh, but yeah, we can absolutely.
We're not doing a heist if we can't do the radio thing.
So you want radios for your team? We can hook you up with that easily. Yeah.
No, I want you guys to be like mission control, and we'd have like earpieces, and you'd be like communicate with it. Can we do that? Like in Ocean's 11?
Oh man, I would really 11, like to do that.
That is what it is. I said 9.
The thing is, it's actually quite far underground. See, we had to dig it pretty far underground so that it would be below the level of all of the basements and the sewer systems and all that. I forget how many, exactly how far it is underground, but I know that we get no radio signals, no cell phone signals. I think it would be pretty impractical.
Got it. Excavo, can you do you just did the Wi-Fi extent? Can you do Wi-Fi radio extender?
I would need more than a Pringles can.
2 Pringles cans?
Honestly,
this is what I mean. If we want that kind of job
having been down there before, I've been down there. It's really straightforward. The whole thing is a big circle, and there's a one room. In that room, there's one computer, and if you poke around in there, there's one value called an access code. It's a long string of characters. What you're going to be doing is changing that string of characters to a different string of characters, and then I guess just take a picture of what the new value is with your cell phone, and then come back up.
Whoa! Why would we leave the new string of characters in the room? Wouldn't the mobsters see? Wouldn't we just want to change it and then leave the old one there so they don't know that it's been changed? Because they have the access cards, correct?
That does seem like a better idea.
I don't totally understand your suggestion.
Because they would be able to get in there and see that the code has been changed and just put in the new code.
So
we need to change it without them knowing.
Well, yes, we will be changing it, and then the.
Right. So we don't want them to know, so we wouldn't leave it down there.
Well, it'll be just on the computer. It'll be changing a value stored on the computer.
Right. You said look around. I thought you meant it was written down somewhere.
Oh no!
They probably have written it down because they're mobsters. They're not me. So they
This is
written down.
This isn't a code. This is a long string of like 256 characters. This isn't something that a human.
People write out entire URLs for photos before. I would not put it past them to write it down.
Oh, yeah. This isn't like a password that a human enters. This is something that you program into like the control laptop or into any of the access points that would like scan a card that like communicates with the MKT. So it's something that that the Tabata gang, they don't know the access code. They don't know any of this stuff. They're going to be blissfully unaware. And when we change the access code, they're not going to know that it changed because all their cards are going to continue working because all of the access points are going to continue working fine. They're going to read the cards fine. The only thing that's going to change is their control laptop isn't going to work anymore, but they're probably not even using it. They probably just stole it, so we wouldn't have it anymore. And we're going to be able to build a new control laptop with the new access code, and we're going to be able to keep the nuclear reactor from melting down.
The what now?
I'm sorry. What was that?
Whoa. Rewind. You said nothing about nuclear reactor.
I'm just gonna take his word for
You
it.
said nothing.
I think we might have remembered that one, Chief.
I think we should take his word for it because we've still got another job to do tonight. Remember?
You
remember the sewer job, everybody?
Are you calling me a liar before I accept your help? Before I accept helping you?
I thought I already went over this, but to recap, the MKT, of course, we couldn't plug this into the city's power grid because they would know that there's a mysterious huge drain on the city's resources, and they would investigate and we'd be found out. So there's just a small nuclear fusion reactor hidden under the city that operates in the 100 to 150 megawatt range usually. And it is designed to work mostly automated fashion.
Mostly.
And it just takes...
What is not automated?
It just takes occasional maintenance it shouldn't be completely unmanned. Every year or so, it should just be checked and cleaned and inspected. Things like this.
When was it last checked?
When it was built.
So, a year ago?
6 months ago. It was finished up. It's probably fine. It's probably honestly nothing to worry about. But I'm a worrier, so it's something that I think it's a bad idea for us to not have access to it. Worst case scenario, if there's a problem with the cooling system, which uses it's all automated, so the cooling system uses the city's. There's a big river that comes through the city, and we piped that river through the reactor, and then it empties out into an underground cave system. So all the drainage is natural and everything. If there were any problem with the cooling system, like let's say if in the winter there was some like electrical failure and like a valve froze or something and like it froze shut and like water couldn't come in, the fuel rods might overheat and the whole reactor apparatus might melt and like melt through the floor and drop into the underground river that the whole thing sits on top of, which would like cause an explosion of irradiated steam and uranium debris across most of the city.
So you're a worrier then?
Just a little bit.
He's not a worrier. He's like he's a comrade, it sounds like. He's a warrior.
So it's extremely unlikely that anything like this would happen because it was extremely well built. Specialists from Stank Industries came and built all of this. But by analogy, in a worst case scenario, the reactor could be, let's say, the fuse on a giant pressure cooker bomb, the size of, let's say, about a quarter of the city. that scrambles your DNA as a bonus prize.
I guess I'm just curious how...
I really always like what you're saying at the beginning of your sentences and really not liking what you're saying at the end of them.
I guess I'm just confused on how this would be constructed without anybody knowing. How does that happen? How do you hide this?
Well, Tabado Construction set up construction projects all along the periphery of the city in like gravel pits and things like that. And they dug tunnels down, and those are their access points. And they started digging down from there. They didn't dig down straight into the middle of the city. They did in some points, like buildings that were being constructed when they were like digging down into the foundation. They, if they had to like build a warehouse or something, they would take advantage of that by building like the box of the warehouse, and they would keep everyone away, and they would dig down even further and do some MKT work. And then when they were done, then they would come back up, and they were really clever because they're the main construction company of the whole city, so they were really taking advantage of their monopoly and their ability to, do a lot of massive work all over the city without really being questioned.
So there's a nuke plant underneath a new Cammack, Indiana, a fusion plant.
Yeah, but it probably won't explode.
Hey, I know that Cammack is like loosely based on Muncie, but now you're just getting a little too on the nose.
It's a huge geothermal plant that could explode.
It's geothermal, it's not nuclear.
Geo-nuclear.
Nuclear.
Nuclear.
So if we don't do this...
Then we are all gonna explode.
Well, not necessarily.
And you didn't think to lead with this?
Or like hard, maybe. Who else you got on the case, Chief? What were you gonna do if we didn't stumble into your dancing robot?
He doesn't know any other heist teams. They don't have that on Vivaldi search engine browser.
Honestly, we were going to consider moving.
Jesus Christ. All right. Darby goes and looks at the map, and I think, which one of these is closest to where we are right now? And just like plots out how we might be able to see how close the surveillance area we were trying to get to before might be to the MKT, because it seems like we have multiple subterranean objectives.
Actually, the closest one is the one that you were just most recently at, that body shop.
No. What's the next closest one?
There is a car wash about a quarter mile from it. Abraham approaches Darby and says, "Now I do realize that we are imposing, and you were on your way to do some sewer work, whatever that may be, and I realize that might take precedence. You are welcome to wrap up that before you engage in this mission here that I've
I assume this mission
on.
needs some prep time. This isn't a tonight thing.
It does not need to be, no.
Can we get your number?
Certainly.
Hit you up tomorrow or this week about it?
Oh, I have it. It's okay.
Oh, you got it? Good.
All right, then. Back to business. Y'all never saw us. Thanks for the rides. We'll bring them back.
Bartleby waves with... Bartleby would still be in his exoskeleton. You hear the tremendous sound of the Escalade being flipped over onto its tires, and Bartleby leans into the warehouse building and says, "Oh, you guys leaving?" And he waves with his big exoskeleton head. "Bye, guys."
Darby just dumbly waves back, I think. She's like, "Bye." Yeah, I think we're done. I think we leave him with the impression that we're going to do what he asks, though, right?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I don't.
All right.
I
Well, I
mean,
think the rest
like-
of us have kind of taken the quest.
Let's think about it.
Yeah, let's do a
Having
sidebar.
having
Abraham-
access to this seems like a good thing if we're trying to hunt monsters
Yeah,
around
that's
the city
where I'm
or
at,
whatever.
Abraham runs out and stops you guys and says, "By the way, just so you guys are equipped, I want to. Can I give you guys, in case inspiration strikes, can I give you guys everything that you need to get into the mainframe room and the mainframe terminal?"
What do you believe we
Absolutely.
need?
Okay.
I will never decline a key item.
And
Toss
he
it in the trunk of the Jag.
and he pulls out a key and he
Oh, it's a
hands
key
it,
item.
and he is specifically motioning toward Excavo.
I take the key. I don't look at. I take the key.
Also, the mainframe terminal, we have the password for it. It's just a bunch of it's just a bunch of random letters. I wrote it down on a piece of paper. So you have it. Here it is.
Totally random, huh?
Yes, we practice good security. We always use random password generators. So, Godspeed to you, whoever each of you are. May I have a phone number for
No.
someone of no?
You'll hear from us.
Excavo, he's asking for your number. This could be exciting for you. Okay, I'll take it.
Like, I don't love that journey for me.
And then even though I have a phone, I insist that he writes it on my hand so that he'll touch me.
Wait, Archibald gives his number to Abraham?
No, I give him my hand and a Sharpie so he can write his number on me.
Okay, he does that. Abraham is asking for one of your numbers.
Oh, yeah, I
Darby
give
would
it. I
happily
give it to him.
Yeah, okay.
But then
You
I
write it on his hand.
I grab his hand and try to like write it on his hand.
Abraham is a little visibly uncomfortable, but is like, okay,
He accepts.
I don't give out my
Okay.
phone number.
all right, and then he goes back. He goes back into the building. Are you guys now?
As he goes, I do like gesture like a call me.
All right, what now?
Because he's a
Can
man
we
of
go
the
to the
people, and
great
I love him.
Sidebar. We just learned a lot about what's going on around here. The well.
A surprisingly consequential amount of information for a gentleman's handshake.
What?
Right, we did not actually promise to do anything. He just kind of started spouting off, which
like-
is what I wanted him to do.
You all
I
just...
100% promise to do things. I hope you'll help me out with this initiative, this new community initiative, because if not, I'm kind of boned here.
This is not the rope game, so you'll need some help.
Excavo, we need you. I can't do the hacks
Everyone needs
just by
help
myself.
at a rope game, Excavo. That's the whole point of a rope game. You work together as a team. It's a team building.
Yeah, there's a way to do it by
Maybe you're
yourself.
right,
It's
Prince.
fine.
This
No,
whole
he doesn't
thing is
get
like a
it. He doesn't
team
get
building
it at all.
exercise.
So in front of you, you see your destroyed Escalade, your two brand new shiny
vehicles
loaner
did we
cars.
I
What's
forget
that?
What vehicles did we get?
It was a Lamborghini and an Aston Martin. You have those two parked. There's a storm drain. Great. There are the four of you and a bear, and Jade is hanging back.
Darby, I'd like you to drive the vehicle into the sewer.
I don't think the grate's big enough for that, Chief.
Oh, great.
So is Augustyn...
Okay,
Questions. Is Augustyn carrying his bear this whole time?
Yeah. Augustyn has been in the background, just kind of like listening in, but not really participating, and holding his bear while caressing it menacingly, and just kind of squinting and facially gesturing as silly details are revealed.
A menacing caress. Gross.
In the meantime, I have gone over and I've just ripped off the grate with my vampire strength.
Oh, wow, nice.
Darby sees Jade kind of awkwardly, kind of meandering in the background. She has tossed her katana into the back seat of... Is it the Aston Martin that's her car?
Yeah, I think that's the one I gave her to drive. I can't remember, but sure.
Yeah.
I do want to just reiterate that I am still wearing some of Darby's clothes so that I can feel like a member of the proletariat.
Right.
Jade asked Darby, should I hang back and guard the cars?
Well, let me take a look at the security system that these things got on board, and I do investigate the cars and see how secure I will find them. So I want to size them up.
We're rolling the dice.
Yeah, we'll see.
If I may, we are borrowing these vehicles from the company from with we are also parking them. How long have these vehicles been at this facility in which they have been egregiously violated? They're fine. Leave them. We have a mission to accomplish.
They were in a
Just
special
Darby,
lot,
after
and now
all
they're
of
not.
these days- After all of these days, Augustyn has made a sensible, reasonable point that I think we need to listen to. This, I can't believe I'm saying it, but I think we need to listen to it this once.
Darby openly shocked. No, but didn't we move these once already? Weren't they in like a secure lot and I picked them out? Or are they still in the secure lot?
They could be in dancing robot range now.
They are parked on the street.
Okay. So
Hey, who's gonna come by and steal an Aston Martin?
and how
would
easy a
even
time
want to?
would they have? So again, I would like to size up how easy it would be to steal these cars, how safe they are in this neighborhood. With Jade's help, maybe about the neighborhood. She seemed concerned about them. So I want to...
With a sigh, I just, like, with a new cavernous hole made by Archibald whipping off the sewer grate, I am just like, be damned with you! And I'm just, like, going down the sewer grate. To,
I
like,
actually
Where are you going?
am.
We did not say we
with
were
one
doing
arm.
it.
With one arm.
Oh no, I actually am at the
Just
bottom already.
chucks
I'm like,
the bear up.
Augustyn, can I catch you? Toss him down. I'm already down at the bottom, trying to help out too.
Darby is, I assume, a little reassured by the fact that there is not a lot of visibility in the back of...
Yeah, who's gonna steal an invisible car?
Not a lot of people would be able to see these cars.
Precisely, Mr. Bond.
No one with 20/20 vision lives in this neighborhood.
Ugh, I hate
It's all
having
a little
20/20
foggy.
vision.
Okay, yeah, so... I
You
think
get the
it's-
impression that they're safe.
I wave Jade over and I say, I think they're going to be fine. These got fancy keys. Let's keep them with us. We'll leave them here out back. Hopefully, we're just going on a quick little jaunt down in the sewers anyway. We'll be back before you know it.
She says, okay, weapons in the car?
I don't think so. I think strap up.
Okay. And she goes and she grabs her katana and she...
Darby similarly equips himself, though. I think he does just try to be as discreet as possible and just get into the...
So no wizard hat, razor frisbee?
Would that fit in the sewer crate? Would he have to fold his hat? Just like puts it on, tries to climb down the ladder, and the hat just stays on the surface, like
does
plops off his head.
Does Darby wear his chakram hat?
Yes. I think he does. As he says,
This is the
strap
debut.
Up. Yeah, as he says, strap up. I think he sheriff walks back to the car and grabs his chakram hat, puts it on. I think with a sense of solemnity, as if this was like his holy weapon, and just I think looks ridiculous, but completely oblivious to how he looks, and is trying to make Jade think he's cool. But I don't even want to roll for this. I want to say he just fails at it. He looks ridiculous. But I think he's ready to go. Chakrammed up. Xena would be proud.
All right, and everyone hops in the storm drain?
Yeah. Let's do it.
You slide through the opening of the storm drain and fall about 10 feet, sliding against the sloped bottom of the tunnel when you land. Once inside, you see that it's roomy, giving the whole group enough space to walk around comfortably, though it's only illuminated by what little of the streetlights shine through the drain openings. With the foundation of the Nuker Tech building in front of you, the tunnel stretches out to your left and your right.
Dang.
I look around. What can we see immediately around us?
Do we
That's
see any
it?
boxes?
Just the description
Do we
that
see
we
any
were given
wires?
so far?
I mean, can't we see, pretty dang good in the dark?
Excavo
Being
can.
creatures of the night.
Excavo can see better. The tunnel it doesn't have any different features if you look to the left or the right.
Well, okay. So what were our instructions from Sheriff
Bagger.
Guy?
Yeah.
So we followed instruction number 1. Find the entrance near Nuka Tech.
Yep.
What
Darby
was it?
has Bagger's note.
Aha! I
Eeny,
knew.
meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by
Well,
his toe.
inspired by my friendly reminder
Dollars, let him go.
and distracted by the annoying chanting, I...
I'm still eeny meenying in the background.
This is written in some vernacular here, which I think would be natural for Darby. So he reads it easily, though. Me, Steve, I'm having some trouble on this.
I keep trying to talk to you about our problem, but you blow me off. I don't get you anymore. You're different than you used to. But that's not the relevant part.
Since you're already reading it, I'll fast forward you to the relevant
Yeah,
part.
thank you. Sorry. It's a long letter.
It instructs you to take it south.
Okay.
I pull out my trusty compass.
Yeah, I think we can use our phones to try to ascertain
Yep.
the cardinal direction. So that's
You do that and determine that taking the tunnel right will take you south.
The note says we got to go this way.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo said this way, however.
I had a whole bullshit goose chase planned for if you went the wrong way. Thank you for not doing that.
I wouldn't want to do a bullshit goose chase. Let's do the correct
Graham would have
way.
enjoyed that more than us, I think.
No, that would have been frustrating for everyone.
Andy would have
All
had
right.
another dream.
You were going to end up...
Who says we aren't in a dream
Wait,
right now?
he's a somnambulist now, and he
What
fell
was the
asleep
whammy,
as we were walking.
The whammy that we avoided?
You were going to emerge in a drainage ditch alongside the runway of the New Cammack Municipal Airport. You walk for several minutes before something stands out to you. On your left, a section of the tunnel has a tarp bolted up like a curtain, and it's waving subtly as if moved by a gentle breeze.
Wow, super.
We got to take this left, and then there's going to be, it says here, a messy gap.
This is super inconspicuous.
The tunnel behind the tarp is not a concrete branch of the drainage tunnel built by civil engineers, but obviously the product of someone breaching the walls of the tunnel and digging through the soil and rock that lay beyond it. The dirty tunnel is strewn with loose gravel and roots dangling from overhead and extends into darkness in front of you, though your eyes can just barely perceive a faint blue light that seems to be coming from deeper inside.
I don't think you should go that way.
Yeah, you don't want to take in too much blue light before you go to sleep.
I think that's the way we're supposed to go. I think that's where the surveillance room is at.
To be fair, we should wear these glasses that I brought with blue light blockers so we can get a healthy amount of REM when we get back home.
I guess we'll probably look cool too. And okay, so if we wear them, can we go down this way?
Oh, absolutely.
Tally ho!
I distribute the glasses. We do
Pitter
not
patter.
look cool.
The Nosferatu tunnel is filthy, more cramped, and follows a much less linear path. You immediately have to crawl on your hands and knees up a small incline and then far down a deep decline before the path levels out and can be traversed in a standing position again. You estimate that you're at least a couple stories below street level now. It's at this point that you notice occasional pale blue mushrooms lining the periphery of the tunnels. These mushrooms are faintly glowing blue. Individually, they're not very bright, but collectively, they produce enough light for you to be able to see each other and the path ahead quite comfortably once your eyes adjust to the darkness.
Hey, so with my mega memory, is this shit familiar? This looks really goddamn familiar to me. This sounds very familiar to me.
This is
this not the fungus we saw?
This isn't something that you have yet encountered in New Cammack, no.
Okay, then having confirmed that I have no Adric memory of such an encounter, I begin harvesting said morsels and stuffing them into my pant holes. Well, being on my hands and knees, having to let my bear cub trail behind me while I valiantly lead it further into the tunnel and gloriously accumulate knowledge by gathering specimens.
What knowledge do you accumulate?
As an editor's note, I would like the listener to remember that pant holes does not refer to pockets.
So down the pants, okay. So they come out the leg.
Or up the legs. I'm not. He wasn't specific enough.
And they still come out the legs.
You successfully stuff your holes full of mushroom tips.
Tech note. I'm curious.
Your holes are full of tips.
Well, having stuffed my pants with these glowing mushrooms, are my pants glowing?
A little bit.
No more than usual.
Yes!
No more than usual.
No more than usual.
At some point,
do we just have a man with glowing legs around us? Is that what's happening?
At some point, you're going to accidentally brew some just insane alchemical potion in your pockets without even meaning to.
I would call that great success.
You just kind of stumble upon a formula for... As you navigate through the tunnels, you find sections that have been widened into makeshift rooms with dangling electrical wires, pressboard floors, and support beams overhead, though these rooms appear to be completely cleared out and are empty, except for abundant cockroaches and occasional trash. You eventually step into a large room with a 20-foot wide circular pool of murky water in the middle of it. Directly above it, there is a rusty pipe emerging from the ceiling and pointing downward. Against the wall, a similarly rusty pipe is visible and has a bright red valve at head level. The room's exit is on the other side of this pool, and there's a room on either side to walk around it to the exit. Don't read too much into this, but just to illustrate what this looks like, let's go ahead and go to a battle map.
You know, it feels a lot more ominous when you call it a battle map. You could just call it a map.
I am inferring that there will be a battle.
The map, yeah. You could have just called it the map.
That's just, terminology.
Friends, comrades.
So the green is no.
This appears to be a stark deviation from our primary objective. I suggest...
Guys, I think if instead of walking into the big circle in the middle, if we go to the wheel on the side, we can stock up on a stray fairy. Did anyone bring an empty bottle?
I highly suggest we abandon this pool and go back to what we were doing. This stinks of winding up somewhere we did not originally intend to be.
I bet we got to figure out what was going on in here if we're trying to find the room we're looking for.
Yeah, I think it could be a special puzzle. Can we get a description of the relevant details again? So
in the middle, there's a 20-foot wide circular pool of murky water. Keep in mind that everything is lit by these dim blue mushrooms, so you're seeing everything in shades of blue, so it's kind of hard to make out colors, so your perceptions are kind of distorted.
My first instinct is threat assessment. Like, I'm just looking around. Is there any place for somebody to hide or spring on us?
Give me a perception plus investigation check.
I was also wanting to do that.
Darby's not particularly good at that. I only get 2 dice.
While my
got
comrades
5.
are conveniently looking at their sheets, I saunter up to the swirling pool of water formed in front of us, pluck a specimen of the glowing mushroom caps, and simply stick it beneath the water a few inches to see if anything happens.
Darby and Archibald, what were the results of those rolls?
I got 3 successes.
I got 1.
You both faintly, Darby more faintly than Archibald, can smell blood in the air. Archibald, you can specifically smell blood in the pool. And
Excavo, Augustyn, I smell blood.
I just want to clarify that, like, their perceptions are happening at the same time that I have plucked the specimen from my pants, and I'm still casually sauntering up to the pool to dip it in the water.
I turn on my cell phone light.
Sure.
I have a cell phone with a light. I turn that on.
Don't you also are the one with the best dark vision?
Yeah, and Archibald warned you about the pool. Like, he said something out loud about the danger in the pool. He smells blood in the pool.
So I feel like I would be able to perceive what is really happening. Not just in shades of blue.
All right. Excavo turns on her light, and everyone is now just exclusively seeing, whatever Excavo is pointing her light at.
Okay.
Oh, man, it's too bright.
I come over here, and I face that way, and I shine towards the pool.
You're shining it, like, along the surface of the pool?
Sure.
I shield
What
my
color
eyes
is this
and say,
water?
The water is dirty and kind of muddy looking, like brownish, almost even reddish.
Is
rusty.
there a small stone near me?
Oh yeah, there's it's dirt and gravel all
I
over.
want to grab a stone and throw it into the water and see what happens.
There are ripples on the water, but
He
otherwise...
takes off his cool sunglasses to see better.
Oh, they weren't sunglasses. They were just bad, nerdy glasses.
Oh, my bad.
So nothing happens. Okay.
There are ripples on the water. And that's the only effect that you notice.
And does anything happen when I hold the mushroom under the water?
It gets wet.
All right.
Now I want to come over here and look at the this area here.
It looks like a valve.
Anything special? Nothing special. What
It's
happens when I grab it and tug it a little? Does it move?
There's a small pipe, diameter of about an inch, that's right over the center of the pool. When you start moving the valve, the drip that's coming from the pipe starts dripping even more.
Okay, I turn it back the other way.
Yeah, it's obviously something that's used to refill the pool when it gets low.
I guess I'm just trying to figure out why the pool would need filled.
Anyone who cares to, give me a lore plus intelligence check. If you're trying to figure out what this room's about. Lore is something that everyone has a 1 point of. It is knowledge about the vampire world.
Lore plus intelligence check?
Yep, so it's intelligence plus 1.
Can I propose to you, and this is something that you can help me with, I would like Darby to have some kind of anti-lore where...
Just apocrypha.
Is interestingly and confidently wrong about stuff like this. And it would be, I think it's rare that he would get the best rolls out of anybody, but if one time he does, then everyone should believe his nonsense. I don't know. I think that'd be fun. Anti-lore.
I see 2 and 2 and 1. Has everybody rolled?
Darby has not rolled. Darby's not going to roll.
Okay. The best that you've been able to determine is that the Nosferatu used to live here.
Yeah, it seems about right. Anybody care for a drink?
I stand by... Oh, wait. I have a specimen. So I'm going to do one of two... I'm going to do 2 of 2 kind of ethically questionable things.
It's on brand.
So I'm going to set my bear cub down. I'm going to pull out one of the mushrooms and hold it up to him because he hasn't been fed in about a day. and see if it has any interest in eating that mushroom. And I'm setting it by the water. So if it's thirsty...
the bear cub immediately starts lapping up the water. Like, desperately. Like, it's extremely thirsty.
Okay. And on brand. Makes sense. It hasn't been watered in a minute. So, like...
As if the plant person would forget to water something.
Ha!
Blood in the water as well.
Got him.
And as it starts drinking from the water, it starts, like, it looks like it was just absolutely parched. Its whole head is in the water, like someone's been taking care of it for a couple days and just not watering it. And this is, honestly, I don't know whether or not in your mind you had been watering the bear cub. Regardless, the bear cub is, like, really into this water. Like, really into it, and is just gorging itself on this water.
I knew you did not forget to water the bear.
Like, aggressively.
Friends, we does anyone else smell blood?
Yeah, it's in the
everybody
water. He called it out to
There's
you.
blood in the water. Is it possible that the bear cub is not just thirsty, but it's tasting the blood? How much damn blood would have to be in the water for this to be a thing?
Not much.
It's a swirling pool.
We're like sharks.
You ever tasted blood?
Why is it
It's
brown?
delicious. I could taste it in the pool.
I
And the
dare
bear
you.
cub,
Dobby,
bear cub
you
just
have
keeps
the-
drinking.
Dobby, you haven't the balls to test this water for yourself.
I
don't
shine the
want
light
to
on the
taste
bear
it.
cub.
Whose blood
Do we
is it?
see
You
any
just letting your
changes?
animal drink
You
his
don't
blood?
know,
That-
and you don't want to know, friend. You
What?
lack the courage. You're yellow. You will not taste this water because you are fearful, friend.
No, I'm not going to taste water with blood in it because I'm not an idiot like your bear. What kind of blood do you think he's drinking?
I don't know. I shine the light on the bear. Do we see the bear change in any way, or just look different? I don't know.
Bear's drinking water.
It just...
That's what you
it's
see.
just very... Okay.
I try and retrieve my bear, and, like, after it's clearly gotten, like, a few, like, mouth gulps, I just kind of, like...
The bear's...
All right. So that's
No,
just clearly
I
enough.
step back when you start doing that.
Bear's
No.
fighting you a little bit. The bear
no.
snarls.
I give it a good old fatherly swat on the rump and just like, no, you're coming with me.
I have left that area. I am
You-
not over there anymore.
You succeed in overpowering the bear, but the bear is upset with you and continues trying to go for the water. Like, you win the fight with the bear cub, but the bear cub maintains interest in the water.
I don't have any. Oh no, the only receptacle I have has that fucking fungus in it. I'm not that unethical, so I continue to fight my child. I'm just gonna keep wrestling with my baby bear.
Yeah, you succeed.
Good deal.
He wades into the water without saying anything to anybody. He just starts walking directly into the center of.
Oh gosh, I shine my lights. How deep is the water?
It's just over, like, knee deep.
I'm splashing around and like feeling around on the bottom, like trying to. Let's figure out what's in here. Let's see. Well, I don't feel anything over here. Hang on, and I'm just kind of systematically walking around.
Yeah, you explore the whole thing and you don't notice any features other than just, like, dirt and pebbles and little rocks and stuff.
Is there a drain of some kind?
I come
Nope.
over here and I start looking at this side.
No, as far as you can tell, you've completely explored the whole room.
Yeah, there's like this collapsed wall to the
Yeah,
north,
what does
right?
this look like?
I would like to check that out because there was something in the letter about that. So that's the way we need to go.
Oh, that's the way to the surveillance room, correct?
The exit
Go over there.
The exit from this room is blocked by what appears to be a minor cave-in a few feet into the tunnel, which you can see starting to slope upward. Long, thick roots hang down like a curtain and appear to be holding back a load of dirt and chunks of rock. But through small gaps in the obstruction, you could see the glow from mushrooms in the distance that suggests that there's a clear pathway behind it.
So you're saying there's a plant over here?
The
I
surveillance
vigorously
room.
take my bear cub and
Surveillance
promptly
room.
just saunter through that fucking entryway.
All right, here you go, plant guy. It's all you. Clear path.
Okay.
Just
I
straight
shine my
through.
light.
To clarify, there's like a bead curtain of thick roots that are holding back big rocks and dirt that are up to like chest level.
Are they otherwise impregnable? Like, would it be something that a regular human couldn't just like squeeze through?
Yeah, a regular human would have to put a little bit of work into clearing the obstruction, like tearing the roots down and like pulling the rocks away. So this would take some strength-based rolls or plant-based magic.
Speed of seasons passing.
So
Darby's getting out of the way of the falling rocks.
So you are attempting to wither the roots and make them.
Actually, I think the more appropriate. Hold up, I actually pulled up a little thingy.
You want to do Dance of Vines?
That is exactly what I'm thinking. Is Dance of Vines, just to kind of like, they don't need to wilt, but I need to like, get out my way.
Okay, so you want to make them part like stage curtains?
Yes.
Okay.
And if I succeed, I do so in such an eloquent fashion as to be flourishy and show off for Darby, who clearly does not have taste in the finer things in life.
All right, give me a willpower roll, difficulty of 6, to invoke the power of thaumaturgy.
You did it.
I did done it. I done did it.
Thaumaturgy invoked.
Now give me an intelligence plus occult roll for this specific power.
I succeeded exactly one time.
Okay, that means that they stay active for exactly one turn. What exactly do they do for one turn? They just move and allow all of the dirt and rocks to fall down, or
the idea being that they maintain their grip, but like the same way if you're like walking down a 1.5 person wide hallway and two people are going opposite directions and you kind of like, oh, excuse me, and you kind of like get out of the way while still holding the things you're holding. They just kind of
squeeze against the.
Yeah, they adjust as best they can to provide a path. And I look back at Darby like, see that shit? See that shit, friend? And I plod proudly through while wielding my unwieldy bear cub.
Given that it was like a one success victory, Darby's okay. You cleared a path. All right.
So yeah, that happens. Magically, the roots move on their own, and the dirt and rocks come loose and start falling out of the tunnel. And the moment they do, they are immediately followed by a swarm of large and angry rats who immediately charge at Augustyn, shrieking in territorial fury and bearing their razor-sharp incisors. Do not move your tokens. Leave them exactly where they are, because we are in combat. As of right now, everyone roll for initiative.
Fuck.
And if anyone has any good swarm of rats sound effects or impressions, they would go great right here.
Thus.
So, initiative phase. The rats are leaping at Augustyn and trying to swarm him. Jade is hanging back all the way at the entrance, still observing all of this, and seems to just barely have noticed what's going on. She is trying to let's say she's trying to catch up and run up. She knows that there's some sort of commotion, and she's jogging up to join all of you. What is Augustyn attempting to do?
Based on my rolls, how large are these rats? How large do I perceive them to be? Are they like...
They're a little bigger than normal rats. Augustyn would be familiar with ghouled animals. These are obviously ghouled rats. So like bigger and more muscular and angrier and more territorial than normal rats.
What is their size compared to my bear cub?
Let's say your bear cub is about the size of like a toddler, and these rats are about the size of like small cat, like Nerf football sized.
Alrighty, so
That's pretty close, yeah.
my initial action is to non-action but trivially, I look into my bear cub and go, do you like the taste of blood? Feast! And I huck my bear into the horde of rats, and in the same gesture as I'm casting my bear cub forward, I am also striding, like winding up a kick to just punt one of the rats to join my bear cub in battle.
R.I.P.
You're throwing the bear cub into the rat swarm?
You're paying your tiny child
And charging in behind it to support it like a good father should.
I thought you were going to say you were going to throw... Do you like blood? I thought that was the lead up to throwing him into the pool for safety, but I heard you right. You're throwing him into the swarm.
Rats.
Right.
Yes.
And I am charging into the swarm of rats myself.
Okay, and with a kick.
Yes,
You're throwing
with a big ol' winding punt.
Now, my question is are you merely dropping the bear cub with no specific effect?
Yeah,
Goes last, by the way. I don't know why we're asking him. Like he is very last to act.
Yeah. Well, in the initiative round,
He would choose his action first.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we go in reverse order.
I got it.
So that the people with highest initiative know what
Understood.
everyone else is going to do. Yeah.
yes, I'm not actually like snowball throwing him. I am basically just dropping him next to me and like going to punt a rat.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the bear cub token.
And would it take an extra action for me to wield my Tontos?
If you did not have them out, then yes.
Okay, then I guess that'll be next round. I'm starting with a punt though. This is like, given that they're about half the size of my bear cub, I want to lead by example and show it that I can, rule the world when it gets bigger and just kick the shit out of a rat.
Okay, so your intention is to stay where you are, drop the bear cub in front of you, and then kick a rat.
Yes.
Got it. Archibald, what is your intention?
Well, I'm gonna take my hammer and sickle, and I'm just gonna fuck them up.
2-weapon?
Yeah, I'm going with both. And before I hold them up in like the sign. I feel like the crossed hammer and sickle are supposed to represent something. I can't quite remember what it is right now, but I'm going to use them as my kind of symbol. And I'm going to slash, I'm going to smash, and do all of it.
Are you declaring that you're burning for celerity for 2 attacks, or are you going to split your dice pool?
I am not sure. I will probably split them. I don't think I'm burning celerity for it.
Okay. Darby.
I'm gonna split my dice pool and throw my chakrams. 2 chakrams right at him. I'm gonna try to like curve my shot. I'm not gonna move. I'm just like, boom, like shooting from the hip. Bang, bang.
Aren't you like behind me?
Yep.
So
What could possibly go wrong?
How
It'll
far
be
can
interesting
we
if he
move
botches.
in our action?
You'll be splitting your dexterity plus athletics dice pool, which is 6 for you. So yeah, you'll have 3 dice for each of those.
I would run up to here and I would use my rapier and get low and I want to use it.
So I have a horde of ding-dongs behind me who are planning to use horizontally oriented blades at the tunnel in front of them.
Yeah.
Between the target and them, I am sandwiched.
Yeah, what part of
my
this
bear
don't you
cub.
understand?
So
Well,
Isn't
the
it
red cub
stupid
would
and
have to watch
reckless? I am doing it.
This is completely fine with all of us.
Completely normal. Nothing out of the
That's
ordinary.
if the rats come back to me. I can't just stand on top of someone.
I all this love and support from the party, it just makes me realize that I have such good friends.
Enemy of your enemy is your friend. We are trying to kill it.
You never treat us like a friend, so...
Yeah, we're not plants, so he doesn't care.
I don't know what
Yeah,
we
you
are
won't
to
even
you. I
read
don't
the
get
group
1920
chat, dude.
slang.
I hate to say it, but I hate to admit when Dobby is correct, but Dobby, for once in his life, indeed.
What did we do to you, dude?
I'm going to be nice and say you don't need to take an extra action to ready a weapon if you take a penalty in the difficulty roll to attack with an unreadied weapon. Does that seem fair?
I think, I feel like I would hold my action
How big
until
is
the rats come to me.
How big is the penalty?
I think that would be
'Cause,
better if I hold my action. Can I do that?
Yeah, you can absolutely do that.
Right, I want to hold my action, but when they do come to me, I will use my rapier and...
This is exclusively for Excavo.
Yeah, so just me. I will hold my action. If they approach me during that time, then yes, that's what I will do. But
Okay.
no, I will not run over there.
And the penalty would be -2. So this comes to Darby. Darby actually has first action.
No, it's me.
The rats have not yet come to you.
It's because I'm holding my action.
Yep.
Okay.
So we're now in the attack phase. The rats have just been released, and they've all piled out. They've gotten their bearings. They've formed into one big mass. They look up at Augustyn, and they recognize him as an intruder in this space that they've been trained to defend, and they've started leaping at him. And you have a clear shot. You see what everybody else is starting to do. You hear the sound of Jade behind you starting to run up. You see Augustyn starting to chuck his bear cub. But you do see, despite the kind of traffic jam up there, you do see a path that you can throw a couple chakrams into. What do you do?
That's definitely the affect. I'm trying to kind of slice it through the windows, and I think my plan is to try to pick off as many as I can. Or two, I guess, with my two chucks. I lead with my left hand, kind of shoot from the hip, so that'll be this one.
Looks like 3 successes to me.
I think you put a less than
I
instead
sure
of a greater
did. I
than.
sure did. Okay. And here's the right-handed shot. 3 with the left hand, 2 with the right hand. But you had mentioned there'd be a penalty because I was wearing my chakrams instead of wielding them. So
I see. Yes, difficulty is 8 because you didn't have it readied. So
Okay.
1 success for that one.
2 successes on the left hand and 1 success on the right hand.
All right, and roll for damage for both of those. Oh wait, actually, the way it works for swarms is normally, if you are attacking with brawl attacks or with small melee weapons, no matter how many successes you get on an attack, it only does 1 level of damage. That doesn't apply if you're using a small melee weapon and celerity. Using celerity in a small melee weapon makes you badass, and instead,
having burned for celerity, or just having celerity added to your roll?
The book says using celerity. It doesn't say specifically using that to add to your dexterity dice or using that to add extra attacks. It just says
Sick.
So if you're just a person with celerity, you are way better at fighting swarms than other people. Way better. So you actually roll for damage instead of... otherwise, it would have been 2 levels of damage to individual rats. Instead, you were going to roll for damage twice against the entire swarm.
Okay, so what's my damage calculation?
This is going to work... mechanically, these would work the same as like throwing knives. And I think that's going to be like strength... Let's call it strength +1.
So strength plus potence +1?
Yeah. You would add potence.
All right, that's 8d10.
Jesus.
It's not casual. This is what I do. Oh man, bad rolls. I don't think that's any successes. Doesn't cancel out the botch. So I missed. Wait, did I do any of my successes carry over from to hit? So it might just be 1 damage success.
There's an interesting part of the swarm mechanics that says that no matter how many successes you get, you do 1 level of damage.
Oh, okay.
And that's in the part of the swarm mechanics that describe the limitation of how much damage you can do. But that my interpretation of that is also no matter what, you can't miss a swarm if you successfully like land an attack in the middle of it. There's no such thing as like a glancing strike that doesn't do any damage because, it's a swarm. So I don't think it's possible to not do any damage if you do land a strike to the swarm. So you do 1 level of damage to the whole swarm.
So I think that's per hit. That's 1 damage roll. So I had to roll my other damage roll. All right. Hopefully this one goes better. That one went better.
Yeah, I see 4.
So yeah, the left-hand one not as good. Even though Darby's ambidextrous, like he's just a little clunky with that one, firing from the hip. But the right-hand one really flew true, and seems like it got one.
So as Augustyn lifts up the bear cub, I was going to say right between his arms, chakram flies between them. I don't really know how the... Yeah, because the slope of the tunnel goes up. As the swarm is coming down, one chakram flies between his arms and cuts a ghouled rat in half. And then another one banks around him and actually cuts 4 of the rats all in half, leaving...
Damn!
Leaving 4 more. Archibald, it is your turn.
So I'm also splitting between 2, and I also have celerity, so this is going to be fun. So I have 6 total that I'm rolling, so if I'm splitting them, I just do 3 each, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
Looks like no successes, given the increased difficulty of this being sprung on you.
Yikes. Well, there's that.
So both of those failed?
1 fail, 1 botch.
Oh. Okay, so which one failed and which one botched?
Like between the 2 I'm gonna say hammer botched.
Oh, I'm good. I have a feeling, Blake, I'm quitting the band. I feel like this session doesn't end with us being friends.
No, not that. I feel like I try to hit the hammer, but that's like heavier and slower, so they move out of the way.
Yeah, but
and that throws me off, and then I just like miss with the other one.
A swung and a missed.
If only these were 2 things that worked well together.
All right, DM. What's the prognosis, Doc?
Jade runs up in front of Darby protectively and stands there. Augustyn, Roll for kicking a rat. That is going to be dexterity plus brawl. Difficulty of 7.
All right, so 3d10. Let's go.
Oh,
Botch!
so
Wow, no.
This is gonna be so bad.
this is going to take me a second.
All the fuckery has to be just equations floating in front of Graham's face. Just.
It's going to take... This is going to take... Okay. So you lift up the bear cub, and like a soccer goalie, you just chuck it into the rat swarm. And then in the next moment, you kick as hard as you can into that same rat swarm, right?
That's how I understood it. Like, right, you are kicking the bear cub. That is what's happening.
I think that was no, not as fuck you, Excavo. But I do think that is how Graham described it.
So this whole area it's muddy, it's gravel, it's wet. Obviously, you slip and fall so spectacularly on your ass, like Charlie Brown, who just had the football ripped out away from him. And right at the same time that you land on the ground, you find a sledgehammer coming right down on you, which was aimed for a rat, which, in Archibald's defense, was bearing down on you. He was trying to defend you. But you get hit with the sledgehammer.
Where on the body?
Now, see, he would have been aiming not all the way up here, like where your head is.
Aiming at, like, the ground.
Yeah. So when you slip and fall, you get inverted. So he would hit you, like, roughly like your pelvis area.
That is what I
This
thought.
is like, this has gone full Tom and Jerry now.
I am back here just watching. I'm watching the Three Stooges try and figure this out.
Am I gonna smash him into like an accordion and then he'll like puff out and then his like teeth will be like piano keys
there
or whatever?
there is a cream pie somewhere that is being thrown at someone.
So you throw your bear away and you slip and fall on your ass, and then you get hit on the dick with a sledgehammer for... I think Archibald needs to roll for damage.
6 points of damage. He's dead now.
This album is never getting done. I'm over this.
What do I roll for damage?
I think it was strength plus 2. Because we're considering it the equivalent of a club.
Plus potence.
Oh, plus potence.
Uh-oh. Then again, I just rolled really bad, so you're probably fine. 3
We hope.
plus 2,
I get hammered in twain.
7. Hammered in half.
He'll kick you apart.
Just like
He'll
the
kick you
bell.
apart.
You carry him back to the chantry in like
and
2
it has
parts.
It's greater than 6, right? Beat 6 is a success. So
Yes.
Let's see how this goes. I'm sorry in advance, man.
Love you.
I love you too.
It could have been worse.
It could have been worse.
So you take 3 bashing, which you can soak.
Wait, does the one not cancel out one of those?
Well, he's gonna need to soak after this. Yeah.
Oh, you take 2 bashing, which you can soak.
Okay, and what is soak roll?
Okay.
What do I roll to soak?
Roll your stamina dice, which is 2.
Yeah. The fun never ends. I take one of that.
You soak one, and you cut it in half. So I think that's rounded down. So I think. Anyway, let's say all that's bruised is your pride and your balls and one of those, let's say, a mushroom cap in your pants. Not bruised.
If he hadn't stuffed them down, he would have been horribly injured, but they acted as a kind of buffer or cushion.
So now the rats swarm all over you and attack you. Let me check and see what their role is.
I was going to be like, okay, next turn.
It just keeps getting better.
They attack you. Okay, all right, next turn.
They attack you for 4 lethal, which you can also roll to soak.
Okay, and if he already rolled, so they're going to hit?
Yes, they do. Yeah.
I might be dead. Who knows? That's 1 whiff and 1 success.
You can burn blood to heal.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're fine from this.
So I got 0 successes. I take 4 lethal damage. How much lethal damage can I absorb?
Like, how many health levels do you have?
Yeah, like if they're doing 4 lethal damage, would I be dead if I didn't take another preventative measure, or would I be otherwise...
Oh, you're asking what your options are now?
Yeah. What?
You can start. You can burn blood to start healing immediately and like run away.
Do I file for bankruptcy? Who do I turn to?
I need blood now.
You can burn
blood.
I
need it now.
His like bale blood place is set up around.
You can burn 3 blood per turn to heal. And you can do that while you're doing other actions. So you have that as an option to like offset the damage that they're doing. So
okay, if I were to just take their damage straight up, where would that leave me physically?
Oh, if you just kept getting eaten by them?
No. If I took all 4 points of lethal damage, what would it? Where would I be at the end of that? Yeah, would I be like a vegetable?
Like, how alive is he?
You'd be at the wounded health level, and you would have -2 penalty to your dice rolls.
To all dice rolls.
Yep. Until you heal, which you could do at any time.
I take all of it. Does my bear cub get its own turn at this point, now that it's been deployed?
You haven't. You're on your ass. You don't see what's happening with your bear cub at the moment.
Okay. I mean, I don't imagine I can control my bear cub, but like now that it's a token on the board, is it doing its own thing?
It's its own independent thing. It always has been.
I've been a terrible father. Okay, cool. Yeah, I guess I take all of that damage.
All right, new round. Augustyn, what is your intention now?
If I whip out my Tontos,
okay.
am I able to strike with my Tontos immediately?
Oh yeah, you can stay on the ground and just attack from where you are.
Yeah, I mean I've got 2 Tontos and 2 hands and 2 butt cheeks that I'm apparently on. So let's go. I whip out my Tontos and I just start fucking slashing with abandon.
Okay. All right. Jade is looking over at Darby and like holding her katana and kind of like looking for cues from Darby, like whoop.
Darby gives her what he thinks are like what the Marines would do. You know, he's like pointing and clapping and waving. It's probably wrong, but he's trying to indicate that, yeah, she should go in and kill all the rats.
I feel like I would see this and just go, for God's sake.
Yeah, no, he's doing, God knows what. But definitely indicating to her that she should murk those rats.
So Jade looks like she's going to charge and start hacking away at some rats. Archibald, with your sledgehammer still buried in Augustyn's nuts. What is your intention?
Yeah, my intention is to. Well, I guess it wouldn't make sense. I wanted to prepare an ice pack for him, but I probably don't have that with me. So I've withdrawn some stationery, and I'm writing a heartfelt letter of apology to hand to Augustyn after this is all blown over.
Got it.
Are you getting out of the way while this happens?
I'm just
you
kind
are
of
over
doing
there.
it with the rats crawling all around and over me. But Archibald has excellent penmanship. It is one of his specializations. Actually, it's not.
And
That'd
that
be
is
great
good
if it
for
wasn't my
battle
character
when
sheet.
you mess up.
But I'm just like writing with a steady hand, despite the swarm. Yeah.
Got it.
I guess I could also like attack again, huh?
If you'd like to.
Could you do both at the same time?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm writing with one hand, and the other one is just. I've still got the.
You have a piece of paper on your leg.
Other one
and you're
is killing a
writing this,
rat.
but you're also swiping a weapon.
Well, I'm too nervous to swipe because I've mishandled my weapon, so I think I'm just using my like potence to just like whip my hand around and just like mess them up.
Whip a hand around. He's just going to slap the rats in the face.
Like I'm really focused on the writing, and as they're going, I'm trying to swat them like flies around me.
You could split your dice pool between a brawl attack and
writing a letter.
Yeah, expression.
Expression. I do have a very good expression roll, so yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, so you're a rat slapping.
I'm rat slapping, yes.
All right. Okay, cool. Darby.
My intention is to go ratsling.
God damn it. How long were you sitting on that?
Oh, it just came to me. Yeah, so Darby is going to run in, unsurprisingly, and just roll around in the muck with the rats. And my goal is to try to corral them all up. And I'm trying to get them off of Augustyn, saving his butt for some reason. So yeah, I'm down there rolling around with them like I'm in my element, like a pig in shit, and I'm just trying to corral up all of the rats. Essentially, I want this to function like a grapple on a swarm, which is weird, and I expect it to be really hard. But that is what I'm trying to accomplish.
To do damage to them?
Nope. I want to prevent them from doing damage to Augustyn, more damage, substituting myself as a target, essentially.
You're distracting them.
Yeah, I'm trying to distract them, but by rolling around with them. And physically moving them off of Augustyn and into one place.
I've never felt so loved.
Excavo, what are you trying to do? Staying in place, the rats are still not within range of your poking.
I feel like I would look up on my phone if rats were sensitive to sound.
What kind of reception do we have down here?
If I can get a signal. I probably cannot. So, what I would do is I would guess and use a ringtone in my phone and play that as loud as possible as I'm going toward the rats and seeing if that helps.
Would it be possible for you to
Because I would not be able to look up whether or not this would work because we do not have a signal. So,
with your phone, is it possible that you've jailbroken your phone and you can turn it up to levels that the phone was not factory set for?
I mean, you're limited by the hardware of the phone. They are very small speakers.
Sure, but you could blow the speaker of your phone by doing that. Is that a thing? Is that possible?
All right, Excavo, it is your turn.
This is a world where vampires exist. We could probably just get away with whatever we want.
Attack phase. Go!
I try and hop over you as you're on the ground. I know I can't. Everyone else is trying to help you. I see this. They're trying to help you. I would not be able to do much. I would elbow my way through somehow, if I could, while playing this loud sound on my phone.
It looks like you're just sitting on top of...
I mean, that might be what I have to do. I don't know I don't know if they're moving. I also would I would get out my tonfas and wield those. Yes. And then when I could, probably on my next turn, I probably can't do it this turn, I would try and elbow down onto the rats with the tonfas on.
So you're now holding in your hands a cell
the
phone.
The phone is in my pocket, playing a loud noise.
But you are holding a rapier and 2 tonfas?
The rapier is sheathed.
Okay.
I said I would hold my action. They did not come to me, so I did not get out the rapier.
Oh, you didn't get it. Okay.
Right, so now I'm going to them.
So you have a loud cell phone in your pocket, and you are currently wailing on them with your tonfas? That is not...
I would be very close range, right? Because I would be basically on my knees, like...
Okay. That is not what you declared, but you did have highest initiative, so it kind of doesn't matter because you have highest initiative and you can kind of like change what you declare that because you're special.
Right, I said I would get out my rapier if they came to me, which they did not.
Oh, no, the tonfa thing. You're cool though. You're good. Okay, so let's say, one attack with both tonfas. This is going to be dexterity plus melee.
That's a botch.
Both of your tonfas go flying off in the same direction down the tunnel that the bear was thrown.
Oh no!
I was clearly no. How did they fly off me? I just was doing that.
You botched.
They're new weapons. You just got them, and also they're not weapons that have been in use. They've been like lacquered and polished. They've been displayed weapons. They were quite slippery, and you didn't know this because you haven't used them before. You haven't practiced with them or something.
Anything?
It surprised everyone. So,
did the sound from my phone do anything?
They all notice you.
Well,
well done, senpai.
You're drawing a lot of attention to yourself.
I have an idea. Perhaps if you used the phone sound to play the cha-cha slide, you could redirect their movements.
Ooh. They'd have to follow the instructions. What jam did the Pied Piper play?
There are animals who are scared by loud, high-pitched noises.
Darby,
everyone just scream. Scream as loud as you can and
higher than what we can produce or hear.
Darby, there's quite a traffic jam at this point.
And I definitely barrel through with no regard for extra.
I think when those fly off of me, I would probably back away.
I'm gonna say you can still do what you're trying to do. I think that. Well,
she's like down on the ground, right? She had just failed her stab move, and she's just like on the ground with no weapons, having botched. So I feel like I could jump over her. I would have
backed away if I lost my weapons.
I'm going to say that there's enough room that you can use some of your extra movement to squeeze in between them.
Okay, all right. So I'm just rolling around with these little rats, little bastards. Hey, you little shits! Get off that little tree, motherfucker! Come on! So I'm just yelling, and
so for you,
very happy.
What would a perfect success look like for you? You scoop all of them off of Augustyn?
So I scoop them off of Augustyn, and I get them into, I guess, a stalemate where they have to spend all of their time interacting with me, attacking me, avoiding me, getting corralled by me. So I'm trying to occupy their time and take their attacks.
I am going to call that a dexterity plus brawl roll.
I do get specialization for this.
Yes, this barely kind of counts as grappling.
Yeah, it's weird because it's a swarm.
If anything, it's shepherding, kind of.
Yeah.
But it's forcibly herding animals, so sure.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, minus 1, 5 successes.
5 successes. You very violently move all of these rats off of Augustyn. And you're sort of corralling them to one side of the tunnel. You're blocking them off with your body.
Yeah, so I think with the virtue of my high successes, I want this to look like a rodeo event almost, where I am like full on rat corralling, just very much leaning into this like weird Western thing that Darby is into right now. He's like, yeah, get on, little doggies. He's just really, and it's working for some reason. So yeah, he's just into it.
Okay, Archibald, you can, I would imagine, reach over Darby and start rat slapping.
Yeah, I'm slapping, I'm writing. So for writing, it's expression. For slapping, it would be like strength, right?
Are you actually splitting your dice pool between those two actions?
Yeah, 100%.
Is Archibald a liar?
Yes.
I'm honorable, and I want to apologize for the bad thing I did.
So writing would be intelligence plus expression. Your dice pool would be 6. Slapping would be dexterity plus brawl. Your dice pool would be 4. 6 and 4, the smallest dice pool would be 4. So when you split your dice pool, you'd be rolling 2 and 2.
Wait, what?
When you split your dice pool,
I have to go with the smallest thing.
That is how that works. You take the smallest of the 2 dice pools, and then you take that dice pool and you split it in half.
Oh, that's
I
a
have faith
bummer.
in the sincerity of your apology. You got this. You should roll those dice.
However,
Because he can't just scream, I'm sorry. He has to write a note in the middle of battle.
However, if you
Okay,
declare
can
ahead
I-
of time that you wish to burn a willpower point, you can get an automatic success that can't be canceled by a botch roll.
Let me run this idea by you. What if I chose just to write the apology, but I did so violently?
Go on.
So, like, I've got my pen or like fountain pen or whatever and my nice stationery. What if I'm like death noting in there real insane, and maybe in that mad scrawl maybe a couple rats get caught up in it?
The pen may be mightier than my sword at this point.
Maybe my pen is literally mightier than the sword that I have.
Always you have a sword?
And I'm just like signing off each cursive letter with a big like flick and a dramatic flare, and I just happen to slash up a few rat guys.
Well, all right. How about
Good at
this?
calligraphy capoeira.
Your dice pool for composing a letter is it's going to be 6.
Mm-hmm.
If you get 5 or 6 successes,
Then I can do. Okay.
the 5th or 6th success can carry over to successes in a bonus attack that takes place as a consequence of this very violent writing that you're doing.
Okay. I'm very heartfelt in my apology. So, okay.
And because you're
60,
very
10, 6
inspired,
success.
let's say the difficulty is actually 5 for this.
Oh, 5? Oh, well,
Yeah.
should I roll again then?
It's
Or
close.
should we just count those? Yeah.
It's like
No.
4
2, 3, 4
4 successes,
Four
just
successes.
short.
So, I don't do any damage,
Yeah,
but
no.
Augustyn gets a very heartfelt, expressive apology, and maybe we will mend our relationship now.
I mean, what little of a note that you can write in one turn, but
That part is so good.
Dearest Augustyn, I beseech you.
Well, I wouldn't be beseeching you right now. Augustyn, I forgive you for being in the way of my hammer.
It's a little backwards of an apology, friend.
Jade runs up and kind of sheepishly tries to scoot past you guys and doesn't. Is like, I can, and just sort of stops, not wanting to impose because there's kind of a roadblock there. Augustyn, you are trying to stab.
I feel like I would have seen her and been like, "Hey, help me."
Augustyn, you are no longer really in range of any of the rats that are around you. What do you do instead of your declared action?
What is my bear cub been doing this whole time? I mean, we had a whole round.
You are
What's
flat
he
on
doing?
your ass, and you
No.
you can no longer see. You just chucked it like down into the dark tunnel.
I guess, okay, so none of the rats are on me. Darby has successfully wrangled them, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks but no thanks. My first concern is my bear cub that I haplessly chucked, and I...
Really?
Yes. Immediately start, like, if I look around and a cursory glance does not produce my bear cub, my first thought is to bolt down the alleyway and find my damn bear cub.
You run
while running with my Tontos.
You attempt to run over Darby?
Prance, I think prance or frolic is a more apt term. I'm not like trying to trample Darby. I am grateful for his service. So I'm not like trying to just like tromp-a-lomp all over him like Archibald's hammer to my nutsack. But I am trying to, with some measure of grace, like frolic over him and then bolt down the tunnel to find my bear cub.
Well, you're currently on your back with Excavo standing on you, so it's going to take a full turn to get in a standing position.
If I were to knock Excavo off of me, would that
If you were
expedite
to
anything?
what?
Like if I were to like grab her ankle and just like flat,
No.
would that make things faster? I am dead set on
make
finding
things
my
harder
bear
for
cub.
you.
Might I suggest you just crawl into an adjacent space and stand up using your turn?
You know what? That is a perfectly reasonable request, and I accept, humble DM. Yeah, I'll go ahead and crawl into an adjacent space and not be a total turd.
That's one of the few options available for you.
Good deal. I think that's fair.
All right. The rat swarm starts attacking Darby, because of course. And it attacks Darby for 1 lethal.
There is a botch.
It attacks Darby for no lethals. Oh yeah, it isn't counting the things right.
Yeah, it doesn't subtract out the botches. It sucks. So again, I hope that the affect is Darby just fully rodeo clowning these rats.
The rats leap upon Darby and are just ferociously screeching and gnashing at their teeth, obviously just incensed that Darby and the rest of you are present, and they're trying to bite at Darby, and they're just not getting to you.
Darby's just laughing. Just
you can't get me, you little shit. All right, it's time we kill these little fuckers.
All right, new round. Rat Swarm is trying once again to attack Darby. What is Augustyn trying to do?
If he's on his feet, he is disconcerted with the other living beings in the room because nothing's biting him at this point, and just going to make his bear cub proud and like beelining to the most immediate spot that his bear cub might be, as though it were the only non-plant blood pumping thing that were of any level of importance to him.
You haven't healed any of your damage, right? You're still at four lethal
I am
down?
still at 4 lethal.
Okay, so you're trying to get all the way down that tunnel to the bear cub?
Well, I don't even know where the bear cub is.
Just in the
quick
direction that you threw it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Got it. You guys see that Jade she's holding her katana up, and she's just trying to find some sort of opening to get in there and get some of that rat action. What's Archibald doing?
I have finished my letter, and now I'm going to smash with a hammer again.
Sweet. Now that Augustyn's back in range.
Yeah.
Darby.
Yeah, I think Darby is going to take a... How many chakrams do I have in my hat?
There are 2 that you threw that are still somewhere nearby, and there are 3 more in your hat. You also have a Gladius,
Gladius, yeah.
and a nunchaku on you.
Yeah, and I presume that I'll take the same penalty for trying to wield any of these weapons that I don't have in my hands right now. I think what I would like to do is burn for celerity and draw the Gladius and become a whirling dervish of death amongst these these rats. So Darby's going to take his like corralling dance and try to somewhat seamlessly turn it into a murder dance.
Just spin around,
Yeah,
chopping up.
that's right.
Great.
Like kind of around the outside, still sort of trying to keep them into one centralized location, but much more trying to kill them now than corral them.
Excavo.
To not get hit by the whirling dervish, I will back away. I see Jade. I see her. She wants to go in. She wants to help. I back up, and I will let her help on my turn.
How very neighborly of you.
Because I don't want to be in the way of that.
Excavo, you can go ahead and make that move.
Okay,
And
I
Darby.
do that, and I will wield my rapier just in case.
Excellent. Go ahead and make your first attack with the Gladius. That's dexterity plus melee.
Botch on my first hit. Terrible roll.
Welp. Roll your second one.
All right. That one went better.
There you go. 2 successes for that. Roll damage for that one.
Some dice. 3 damage? I think 3 damage.
3. I see 3.
6.
There are 2 ones. Yep.
You obliterate 3 of the rats and take a bit of a chunk out of the leg of poor Archibald, standing a bit too close to your whirling dervish act.
Oh, I knew to get out of the way.
Damage on him too.
Let's just say it's 1 lethal. He's right at the edge of it.
Lucky bastard.
Let's not. He's not close enough to be bisected by you. That seems implausible. Let's say he's right at the edge. Only thing that makes sense is for him to be clipped by you.
I am now hurt.
I am now hurt.
Now
Darby
Darby has to learn to write so he can make an apology letter.
Darby
I'd use the
might
rest
need
of
help
my
with his
parchment to
apology
bandage
letter.
myself.
True.
They look like baggers, yeah.
This rat swarm is quite
I feel
nearly defeated. It is so close to
There's
being
just one,
destroyed.
right?
I rolled so bad, I'm embarrassed.
It's incredible. Archibald.
I feel like Archibald would be the kind of person to write his own apology letter from someone else because he knows how to do it best.
And I understand Darby's heart and mind.
I understand his heart.
Archibald, you were gonna hammer this.
Yeah,
this
I guess
problem?
there's like one left, right? So I'm gonna whack-a-mole this thing.
Do it.
Strength plus melee. Strength
It's
okay.
dexterity plus melee.
Yeah.
Dex melee. Okay.
2 successes. All right, roll for damage. I see 3 successes. And that is the exact number of successes that you needed to completely disperse and permanently kill the rat swarm. You kill...
I start to jump up and down celebrating, but then realize my very hurt leg, and then I'm like, ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Archibald brings
smart.
up the sledgehammer and brings it down on the very last of the rats. The rat swarm was not a finite number of rats. There was a central mass of rats that was trying to get at Augustyn and Darby, but there were more rats at the periphery that were egging them on. There was obviously a larger population of rats. It wasn't just this little gang, but as Archibald swung this hammer down and just completely pulverized this rat, the rest of the rats that were waiting in the wings, ready to be round 2, they all dispersed, terrified. And you could see them packing their little rat bags, moving to the next town over, and disappearing for good from these tunnels forever. They disperse, and you hear the sound of a bear cub scampering further down in the tunnel.
Ooh.
I go after my tonfas.
Yeah, you go and you collect your tonfas. They're down there. They're dirty.
I mean, I'm
They'll be
still
less slippery.
like in a full sprint towards the sound of my bear cub. Nothing about how things are resolved has changed my action. I am dead sprinting towards my baby bear. Like,
You follow the sound of the bear cub scampering, and you proceed through the cleared tunnel, and you see that up ahead it quickly becomes much brighter. It's not just lit by the little glowing mushrooms. It's lit by something else. It's lit by unnatural light, like electric lights. You emerge out of a narrow opening in a rock wall and into what appears to be a fully lit subway tunnel. Stretching out as far as you can see, to your left and right, is a single wide, flat metal track running down the center of a corridor about the width of a one-lane street. The walls are roughly cut bedrock with support beams arching overhead at even intervals like the ribcage of a snake, and a patchwork of metal panels and concrete reinforcement at weak points. Directly across the track from you is another narrow opening in the rock wall that appears to be the continuation of the Nosferatu tunnel. Above it, you see a narrow pedestrian walkway. At your feet, the bear cub is sitting, looking terrified, and has not crossed this giant subway tunnel walkway, and is just sort of frozen in fear and confusion.
as soon as I am aware that he is there, I pick him up and hold him tenderly and give him more menacing caresses. Just, it's okay, it's fine, it's cool. And I turn back to the group and like, comrades, I believe there is something of interest in this particular vicinity that you might be interested in.
I think that's a good stopping point for tonight's session.
All right.
I feel like I should spend an experience point on grip, but I can't do that. Just to hold them tighter. Oh, I'd love a point in melee. I don't have one yet. That's fine. Yeah, I'll get a point of melee. I think I tried to earn it.
Yeah, I think at the end of the next session, my plan is to get another point of dex. That'd be very strong.
Okay. Any experience point expenditure, Augustyn?
If you would be so kind, in the abilities, the talent, skills, knowledges, what would it cost to get a new bubble of an unlearned skill?
3 points.
3 points.
Titties. Because that's what I accumulated today, and I have 14 points that I'm saving for something else important. But I would like a point of leadership. I felt that my attempts to not only put the bear in danger, but to show the bear that there was a reason for it, and to charge after the bear when the bear put itself in danger. I think I was desperately attempting to bond with something that isn't a plant. Never mind the 3 flesh bags of meat behind me. But yeah, I wanted to bond with the bear, and I worked really hard at that. I think I want to put a point in leadership if you find that to be a reasonable request.
Okay, you have a point of leadership.
Tight. And I still have 14 XP that I'm pooling, correct?
Yes.
Tight.
Cool.
All right.
Good session.
See you guys next time.
Till next time.
Yeah.